when you look at the list of league MVPs over history. I say this with respect to Jokic. Historically speaking, he would be the worst one we've had in 35 years.
So yeah, Nick Wright had that to say about Nikola Jokic and his MVP candidacy, basically saying that Jokic would be the worst MVP in 35 years in the NBA, which is a interesting way to make your case for other players. I believe he had Chris Paul as his MVP, which, you know, I don't really dispute at all. Chris Paul's having a great season. Jokic is having a great season. Joel Embiid is, Steph Curry is, Luka Doncic, Giannis. There's a bunch of guys that have a legit case for MVP, in my opinion. But I'm not really here to talk about that. It's just the fact that Nick Wright decided to double down on his take by saying this on an Instagram Live.
Doing this for ratings. Let me tell you a little secret about television. Talking about Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets is not good for ratings, folks. That's not how you bring in the most vast audience, is by talking about the Joker and the Nuggets. Who on that list?
So yeah, he made the comments on his show earlier, and then I guess he was getting backlash from it on social media. So he doubled down on it, went on IG Live and said that talking about Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets is not good for ratings. Which is probably true. Like, it's probably true because people want to hear about the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nets, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie, guys like that. People want to hear about that. Steph Curry. People want to hear about those guys and those teams. But the fact that he really just exploited not just himself, but really the national media in general when it comes to sports. We've had this discussion before. A lot of what like big publications put out is strictly for ratings, which I understand. You got to keep your shows going. You got to keep, people tuned into your networks and stuff. Like, I understand ratings are very important, but quality is important too. And the fact that he even said that is just like, it's ridiculous to me. Even though we all know, like, that's what these talk shows be doing. They just come up with topics where they say outlandish things, so people clip that, post it on social media, and everybody's talking about him. Like, Nick Wright has been the talk on Twitter for like the last day or so, and I just seen it earlier today, but he's been the talk pretty much all day. And it just bothers me because, like, you can really put out really good quality content without having to just say things like that, or only speak about certain topics or certain players, or having like these crazy debates and stuff. Like, you can still create good content. You can have good conversations if you actually do watch basketball or watch sports, because all sports shows typically do this. Like, if you actually watch, like, you can have a lot to talk about. Like, you'll see in my videos, I have a lot to talk about. I speak for like 15 minutes every video, it seems like, but that's just me. And there's so many other great people on YouTube and on social media that actually watch basketball, and they are great at talking about it. So it's just like, the fact that people like this really get the most attention because they say crazy stuff, it's ridiculous, man. And us, as like, we feed into that stuff because it gets us talking, it gets us reacting, and that's exactly what they want. I made a video like a few weeks ago when ESPN made that top 25 under 25 list, basically saying, like, they use that as clickbait, like, so people view their list, so people are talking about their list, and so they're staying, mainly relevant. Like, that's what these big publications do. And like, that list had like LaMelo like top 3, and they had like RJ Barrett wasn't even on the list. Like, guys like Jaren Jackson were on the list. Like, a bunch of guys were missing. And like, a guy in the big market like RJ Barrett is going to get talked about because he plays for the Knicks, and he's not on that list. He's not one of the best 25 players under the age of 25 or whatever. But they do this stuff all the time. I know I mentioned, like, I remember they had DeMar DeRozan ranked as like the 80-something best player in the league or something like that. Like, they do ridiculous stuff like this all the time. But that would just be like me titling one of my videos, like, who's the GOAT, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? Like, to be frank, I don't care about the GOAT debate, but that would be an easy way to get views. But why would I do that? Why would I put out some dry content just to get some views? Like, it bothers me so much. It really does. But that's just the name. I guess that's the name of the game. You just say crazy things to get views and ratings and blah blah blah, I guess. But I don't know. That's been on my mind. I wanted to speak on it. Nick Wright basically just exposed sports media members, because that's what the majority of the national media is all about. I mean, there's some guys out there that actually are really good at their jobs, but the guys that get the most shine and make the most money, they pretty much follow the same strategy. But it's probably not just them. I mean, I'm sure their producers and stuff tell them, like, you know, argue about this stuff, say some crazy stuff like this. That's probably the topics that they give them too. But it all works hand in hand. That's why I'm glad I can just, I guess, be my own person and just talk about basketball the way I want to talk about it. Because, hey, that's going to, hopefully that gets me somewhere someday, so I won't have to fall under that umbrella, because I don't think I could do that at all, because that's just like, it's not real. It's just not real basketball talk. That's really all it is. And, you know, I hope the people that actually do watch basketball and actually do have good breakdowns and good analysis and all that, I hope that they can get more shine, because there's a lot of great people out there for sure. Not just in the NBA world, but the NFL world too. Like, there's a lot of great people out there. So I hope they get a lot of shine. Yeah, Nick Wright said that for ratings. He said that for ratings. He said Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets are not good for ratings. He admitted that. That's ridiculous to me, but, you know, be better. Let's be better as people in the media. Can we please be better? I hope, like, my generation can change the way that what's expected of media members, and hopefully, like, athletes will be more willing to speak to us, because that's really, like, one of the main reasons why athletes don't want to talk to media members, because they do stuff like this. Like, they will, like, clip stuff for ratings and stuff. Like, they'll ask you a question. Like, it's like with the John Morant stuff. Like, even though I know that wasn't Shaq's intentions, but what other publications did with that was they would just crop that and said, oh, he said he's top 5. Like, no, Shaq asked him, like, where do you rank yourself? And of course, a competitive player is going to think he's one of the best. That's how it is. Like, that's how it should be. You're supposed to have confidence that you're one of the best. It's not like he disrespected anybody else either. He just said, like, I think I'm top 5. Like, that's how you should feel, especially when you're as talented as Ja is and you work as hard as he does. Like, that's how you should feel. But, you know, the media, the media is something crazy, man. But I feel like I just had to get that off my chest, man. I just had to speak about it. But if you're new, leave a like, subscribe. Reek Knows Hoops.